My name's James Grinstead. I'm one of the trustees of the Matt Kendall Foundation. Matt Kendall Foundation is a grant-giving charity aiming to support 16 to 25-year-old young people from Birmingham who have a passion for getting into employment or education. We give grants of up to £500 to support a young person who's got a great idea or who needs support to get into work, stay in work, or to get into education. The key thing is that the young person's got a clear idea on what they're aiming to do, and then the money is sort of the thing that can help them move from where they are to where they need to be. So in order to apply for the grant, you can go onto the website and use the online application form there. It's quite a simple application process, and just requires sort of completion and answering of a few questions. It can be done written or via video, and as long as you've got a sponsor that can help you to sort of support the fact that you're in that position and you need the help, then it's quite a simple process.
So my name's Sophie. I'm the chair of the board of trustees on the Matt Kendall Foundation, which means that I help to organise the board to make the decisions about what grants we give young people and what criteria we use. So I think probably my favourite application is probably one of our first applications, and it was from a young woman who came to us. She had had a really challenging time growing up, and she'd ended up in a hostel for young people. And one of the ways that she'd learnt to cope, I guess, and really sort of to pull herself out of where she was at was through sport and through football. And she had joined a local football team, and she'd actually started coaching for them, and she'd managed to get an FA qualification in coaching skills. And because she was brilliant, the organisation that she was working with managed to get her a sponsorship to do football coaching in the United States. Mm-hmm. But what they couldn't help her with, she had a sort of bursary for when she was out in America, but what she didn't have was the funding to get there. So there was an application made for us to pay her fare, and we gave her that, and she got to America and finished her coaching qualification and has gone on to do great things.
Yeah, I think that shows the key part of the charity is there to add that little extra. She had the bursary for the qualification, She had the opportunity, but the airfare was causing the problem for her. Therefore, we could step in and really help and give her that first step on a journey into sports coaching.
Absolutely, and she couldn't have done it otherwise. And I think that was really great.
So for me, the key thing about making an application really strong is showing the passion of the young person. I think any application that we read, it's clear to see if the young person's got a clear plan and they're passionate about what they're trying to achieve, and that really, for me, makes a big difference when you're reading or if you're watching a video of an application. If you can see the young person's passion and their desire to do something, it really shines out above a lot of other people. I
completely agree, and I think it's really important for us as board members to really hear the voice of the young person. And obviously, 9 times out of 10, that means they've written the application form themselves. If they struggle with that, it's fine. As you said, they can do it on video, or they can do it through their sponsor, but we really like to hear their voice and their ideas and their words to explain what a difference the grant will make.
Yeah, and creativity in their ideas.
Yeah.
As long as it's a clear plan and it leads on to employment or education, then we like to see things that are a bit different, not just people following the norm, and that's a lot of the young people that we support are creative and are different, and that's why they've maybe not gone on through the normal channels and the normal structures. So anything that's creative and different and thinking outside the box is always good to see.
Always good. And then I think, again, just in terms of making sure that the money gets to where it needs to be and to get the people who need it most, I guess for us, we need to it needs to be very clear what the barriers are for that young person. So, we know that for a lot of the young people we've supported, bank of mum and dad just isn't there. It's not a possibility. They might have been through periods in their life when they're either homeless or they're really struggling financially, or their parents are struggling really financially, and we need to understand what that barrier is, and also I guess understand what they've already done to help themselves, because I think that makes a really strong application.
Yeah, and that's when obviously if they've got they'll need a sponsor to support their application. That's where that individual from an organisation or from their college or their school can really give it more information about the background support.
Yeah, and I think we found that quite often that, you know, maybe a young person's application we've got a few questions about, but having that really strong supportive sponsor statement is absolutely key. So my top tip, I think, for making a really strong application is make sure that you clearly set out what you're going to use the money for. Explain what a difference it's going to make. That's probably the key thing that I want to see when I see an application.
And the main thing for me is being really clear on what it is you're aiming to achieve. Show us and tell us about what's stopping you, and then tell us what you need in order to be able to overcome that barrier and move on to your education or employment.
So we really hope to hear from you soon. The very best of luck with your application. Just don't let anything hold you back on it. If you need a better way of doing it, if you want to do it on a YouTube video or on the telephone, we're very happy to hear your application in any way that suits you.